What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Bengal Stripe Show on the Love of Ball Network, presented to you by Gavin and Braden, right over there. Episode 3, episode 2 episodes in the books. Third one's here for you. We kind of want to talk about some positional battles today. But first, we do have a surprise coming for you guys. We're not going to say what, but check the socials. Check next couple episodes. That surprise will be out. I don't want to go further into detail. Is there anything else I should include?
Yeah, so I think you guys are really going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
Just please check socials.
Yeah, everything's in the description. Both link trees to my show and this show are going to be there. I just realized my lighting is off here. Perfect. And yeah, everything's in the description. If you're YouTube, go to Spotify, rate us 5 stars, share us, follow us, helps us out more than you think. If you're on Spotify, go to YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, do everything, all that. Help us grow so we can bring you guys better content. The more we grow, the more money we put into it, the more time we put into it, the higher quality content you guys get. The more credible we seem to these places, so we can do cool stuff for you guys. So let's kind of get into it. Positional battles. Obviously, it's training camp season. In the next couple weeks. So we're gonna see some battles to get that starting spot or that backup spot or things like that. And I think it's gonna be interesting to watch. We will be at majority of those training camps. Come say hi to us. Do whatever you need. We'll be filming content for you guys for the TikTok, Instagram, stuff like that. And then lastly, I had something to say, but I'm completely blanking right now. But yeah, that's do you want to go ahead and get just right into it? 2 minutes in the show?
No, I actually kind of want to talk about this surprise a little bit more. So, this surprise is going to be huge for you guys. I think it's going to be really entertaining, and even there's going to be some cool stuff thrown in there, and maybe even something that's going to be thrown in maybe for the rest of the podcast career. I'm really excited about this. But yeah, training camp as well is something I want to throw and talk about. Is this training camp is going to be huge for a lot of different people. That's why we're talking about position battles today. We're going to be at most of them. Please come up to us. Please talk to us. It makes us feel good. It makes the podcast kind of gain some traction by some other people watching. But there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot going on this offseason. A lot of training camp. A lot of things going on in the locker room for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of deals that could get done while in training camp. If you guys don't remember, Joe Burrow's deal did get done during training camp last year.
I'm gonna stop you right there. And according to some reports, I think I sent you the article by New York Times. Granted, we all know New York Times is pretty reputable, but when reporting sports, I'm not sure their reputation. According to New York Times, they did say Jamar Chase's deal will not be done this offseason. They're talking about it and they're going to get it done next offseason. I think this is for purely salary cap reasons. It keeps going up and up and up. Jamar Chase can get paid more and more and more. And I think it just makes sense because I think he also wants to see what happens with the T situation next year to wait and get his contract.
Yeah, I would agree. I think he wants to wait. I think Joe Burrow did the same thing. I'm pretty sure. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure he did. Wait, because what is this? Jamar Chase's 4th season.
Yeah, 4.
So yeah, I guess Joe Burrow did get his contract done a little bit sooner, but a lot of people do this so they can wait for the CD Lambs of the world to get their contract and get it big. You know?
That kind of has implications because, I mean, we see players of the likes of Calvin Ridley get these big bags that are nowhere near the Jamar Chase level just to go. And I think Jamar really knows he can get paid, especially next year.
Yeah, I think he's at the Bengals' will here. I think the Bengals are just going to write him a blank check. I mean, obviously not a blank check, but I think Mike Brown understands that that if they're gonna move on from T, they need to keep Jamar Chase at whatever cost.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of going back to Calvin Ridley, Brian Callahan has an interesting quote here that I kind of want to read off. I'm not going to read the direct quote because it's pretty long. It's a media box quote, but in what am I trying to say here? Paraphrasing here, he kind of wants to turn the Titans into a version of the Bengals. He wants Will Levis to take that air it out role, which he can do. Will Levis has a cannon. Not the great decision making that Joe Burrow has. but he wants Calvin Ridley to fill in that slot and kind of take that Jamar Chase, take the top off role. He wants who do they also have? They got Traylon Burks,
DeAndre,
D
DeAndre
Hop.
Hub.
He wants D Hop to be that T Higgins role, and he wants, well, I mean, Tyler Boyd to be the Tyler Boyd role. His goal down there is to create a new Bengals, and with the offensive line they do have, they added Lloyd Cushenberry from the Broncos, who's a very underrated signing for them. I think if Will Levis can be half of what Joe Burrow is, I think they can really make a playoff push.
Yeah, I think they're almost there. I think that defense is gonna kind of hold them back this year. I think with
You think?
Callie, I think so. I think Jeffrey Simmons is good, but I don't know much about their edge rushers. Their linebackers are all right. Um,
They did get L'Jarius Sneed. They have Jeffrey
yes.
Simmons on the D line. They have so they have out from the Eagles. I forget his name. Um, linebacker, pretty good. Azir Shahir, something like that, who's pretty solid.
I'm actually not sure. I just remember thinking that when I saw this team, it looked like it kind of looked very Bengalsy, and
Yeah,
Bengalsy last season with a very good D tackle. Um, but I'm just not sure about their edge rushers. But anyway, I just think their defense is going to hold them back a little bit. I think Will Levis can, but I think what makes Joe Burrow so great is that he has elite decision making.
yeah,
He always is one step ahead of the defense, and I don't think Will Levis kind of has that elite processing.
yeah. It's definitely Joe Burrow's strong suit is that decision making and that plays in the clutch and stuff like that, and helps it with his natural given talent. Will Levis has a talent, but I don't know if he has the brains to back it up. Not saying he's an idiot. I mean, this dude is uh, probably pretty smart. NFL quarterbacks are usually pretty smart,
He's smarter
unless your
than I'll
name
ever
is
be.
unless your name is Johnny Manziel, who didn't give a shit about football.
Yeah,
Um,
0 iPad hours was crazy.
but yeah, let's kind of get right back on track with these positional values. Do you want to start on the defense?
Yeah, us start on the defense here. Let's talk about Jordan Battle and Von Bell. I think this is kind of flying under the radar because it didn't really fly under the radar when we first signed Vaughn. A lot of people thought we signed Vaughn just to sit there and play a veteran presence, but if you were an OG, you remember when we first got Von Bell, and Von Bell kind of stepped onto the scene. It was we have somebody to put along with Jesse Bates. It was
Yeah,
great. It was really good. Um, so I think about how significant Von Bell is going to be for this team and for Jordan Battle's development throughout his career. But I think Jordan Battle playing so well at the back end of last season gives him a chance to say, you know what, Vaughn, you can teach me, but you can teach me from the sideline.
yeah, and I think it's interesting here to see the dynamic between them because it's like my best comparison here is a Russell Wilson to Justin Fields situation, to where you have pretty much the older version of the younger prospect. That's already been there, already has that experience. Obviously, Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl. Von Bell's been to a Super Bowl. Um, and I think it's just it's a dynamic that kind of I think in Pittsburgh it's going to create tension. I know it's very because it's such an important position being the quarterback room. But I think here and it being safety to where you can rotate safeties, you can play both of these guys at the same time. I think it's going to be more important that they play off of each other along with learning and competing for that starting role. I think with how we're going to play defense this year, the starting role won't mean as much, especially in the DB room, because we're just going to be a revolving door of fresh legs and different looks we can throw at these guys. Because Von Bell getting up there, I mean, what we said he's 29,
Yep.
getting up there in age, he's gonna as much as it sucks, he's gonna get gas on some plays playing the AJ Browns, the Devonta Smiths of the Eagles, or the Tyquan Thorntons of the Patriots week one, who will just completely burn you down the field. He's gonna get tired, and we need those fresh young legs. And I think they can learn a thing or two off of each other. But I do ultimately think Von Bell will earn the spot. I don't see us signing him unless we don't plan on starting him. I think he's too good of a player to sit on the bench and watch develop. But I think it is a like 60-40 chance. I think it's very close. I think they pretty much have the same skill, but it's the experience that'll really come into a factor when it comes to starting those big games.
Yeah, so you're saying that Vaughn and Jordan are almost going to split reps. I wouldn't say split reps, but I would
Yeah.
say they're going to have reps where they where they can take time off and rest. Where in the past, there's always been that clear cut starter, and he's going to stick in the entire game.
Yeah, I do think it'll be like that, and I hope for that because we have so much talent, so much depth that we can do that, and we can throw these different looks at a let's say week one Drake May already overwhelming Bengals defense, Bengals offense. Is easy. As soon as he saw the schedule release for the Patriots, knowing that he's either playing because who are the Commanders playing the week one? Commanders are playing someone good week one.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's look that up.
it might be Dallas. No. The Dallas plays Browns week one. I know that.
Let's see this Commander schedule. Okay, it looks like they play the Jet. Or no, that's the preseason. They play the Giants.
No, the Giants play the Vikings week
Where
one.
where am I seeing this? Oh my gosh, they play the Buccaneers.
Bucks, which have an elite defense. So Drake May, before his draft even started, before these schedule releases came out, was thinking, I'm going to be a commander, and I have to play Antoine Winfield, I have to play Leonard Floyd, I have to play Shaq Barrett, all these guys on the insane Bucks defense, and then, or I'm going to be a Patriot, and I'm gonna have to keep up with Joe Burrow in Paycor in one of the hardest places to play in, especially opening game once we're good. If that stadium has life, it's the top 5 stadium for me. And I've been to a decent amount of stadiums, and I think that's going to overwhelm him, and he's going to get used. He's a very smart guy. I love Drake May. I'm very high on Drake May, but he's going to get used to the coverages that we throw at him barely. And once he's used to it, boom, Jordan Battle come in for Von Bell, give him different tendencies, give him different ways you move. Those sudden movements, because these quarterbacks are so smart, they're going to notice it, and it's going to throw them off their game. Bringing in Dax Hill compared to DJ Turner, which I want to transition into next, it's going to be a completely different dynamic. You have speed versus strength. So why don't you tell me about DJ Turner versus Dax Hill?
Yeah, DJ Turner versus Dax Hill. This one's a huge one. I think this was the storyline of the offseason, just for like an inner Cincinnati Bengals thing. DJ last year was a very fast cornerback, almost safety like. Could cover
7th fastest 40 of all time.
Yeah, so he was fast. He was very fast, and he almost played like a safety. But at cornerback, he wasn't very physical. And that's what his whole focus of the offseason has been, is he's put on some weight. He's tried to get a little bit more physical. And Dax Hill played more like a cornerback, covering tight ends and other receivers, and trying to blitz a little bit, kind of playing the Mike Hilton role. But I feel like Dax would be better as a cornerback. And here's my hot take. Dax would be better as a cornerback, and DJ would be better as a safety.
The only problem with that, because I've thought about that too, I think DJ Turner is 5'10".
No.
Which is kind of scary.
That is scary.
He's 5'11".
Okay. How tall is Vaughn?
I think he's 6 foot.
Vaughn is... How tall are you, Vaughn? Tell me about you.
Oh, he's also 5'11". But it's like a very different 5'11" in my eyes, where Von Bell is this muscly bruiser. And I don't know. It's just like... It's like this is an NBA comparison. I don't know how many of you guys are NBA fans. It's like Paul Reed versus Paul George. Paul Reed is a center. He just got signed to the Pistons. This dude will back you down, bruise you, spin move, put it up. He is 10 pounds lighter than Paul George, who Paul George will bring you up top, go around you, speed you. It's insane to me that they're the same height and that different weight, such different play styles, that I can't see. Like, Paul George will never be a center. Paul Reed will never be a guard. And it's kind of that same to me, where DJ Turner, I don't see him ever being a safety because he's just built like a corner.
Yeah, so I thought he put on more weight than he did. He's actually only 180 pounds, which is frightening.
Very light.
Very light, especially for a safety. So I take that back. That's not my hot take anymore. I take it back. Put me in jail for saying that. I think he's going to be a Nate Wiggins of the world. I'm trying to think of an NFL corner, Emmanuel Forbes. I think he's going to be one of those.
Oh, God, Emmanuel Forbes, the dude. I don't know if you guys have seen that picture. I'm going to pull it up while you keep going. Go ahead.
Yeah, please pull up that picture. I think he's going to be like that. I think he's a little bit stronger. I think he's a little bit more conscious of what kind of cornerback he is. I think once he learns this defense a little bit more and learns the NFL, that these guys aren't afraid to put your hands on these cornerbacks, I think he'll adjust. And I think he'll be just fine. But in the matter of them having a position battle, I think Dax comes through and I think he wins it. We allocated a first round pick on Dax Hill back in 2021 after we lost the Super Bowl. Um, and we only spent a second round pick. I mean, I say only. We spent a second round pick on DJ, but DJ has a few more years here in Cincinnati. I think we use Dax for the rest of the time that we have him.
For sure. And I'm sorry, I'm really trying to find this picture um, of Emmanuel Forbes. But yeah, he definitely has weight concerns, and that's definitely something that in such a physical division. Where's this at? I'm just this is just being really slow. Um, that I think it's insane to me how these guys can be what seemingly this skinny, even though they're 180. But it's a combination of speed plus strength. That's so important at corners, and you kind of need to make that archetype and make that decision of what kind of corner you want to be.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I have it right here. Let's see if right here.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Look how skinny he is. And by the
Yeah,
way, that
he's
is
on the
Emmanuel.
left.
He's on the left. You would think the kid on the guy on the right would be the NFL player. This kid looks like he is significantly bigger. I mean, that is a little guy right there.
Yeah, and he's consistently asked to guard AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, D Hop, all these guys. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. Um, I've kind of been yapping right here, so I kind of want to hear more of your thoughts on why Dax Hill or who'd you pick to win?
So I picked DJ Turner to win this battle, but I think it'll be similar to the safety group, but not as quite as a revolving door. I think both of them are going to see the field. I mean, last year our corner four played 600 snaps. So all our top four corners are going to play a fuck ton. Excuse my language, but that's the emphasis I'm trying to get here. That it really doesn't matter. It's all going to be assignment based as well. It's just kind of a depth chart spot, at least for the corner group. But I like DJ Turner because he is a pure corner. He has the instincts of a corner. He has the speed to keep up with these guys. If he's putting up weight, that was his main concern. All rookies go through that slump of guarding uh, the plumbers in college against a team that you blow out 64-0. Especially at Michigan, he's used to blowing people out. And then getting in the NFL and everyone in there is 10 times as heavier, 10 times as faster. And they kind of go through that. And I think he's going to learn to adjust playing these snaps, playing these reps. And even if he doesn't win the job, being that corner three, he's going to play upwards of 1,000 snaps a year. And I think that's going to be great for his development. But I like him as a pure corner. He's kind of a glue guy to where he can stick to the Reds were up 8-0, and now it's 8-4, bottom of the seventh.
Not good. Not
Um,
good.
but yeah, I think he's just going to ultimately win the job because he's the better corner. As much as Dax Hill is doing great as a transition to corner, I think those instincts of playing safety his entire life are gonna be hard to change. I think next year it's gonna be switched. I think it's really gonna be clear cut of who's the better corner because there's zero doubt in my mind that DJ Turner is gonna be the corner two all year. It's gonna be Dax Hill for a game. It's gonna be DJ Turner. It's gonna be matchup based. If we're playing Devonta Smith and AJ Brown, who do you think's guarding who?
I
If
think
Cam Taylor Britt is in the equation.
I think I'm gonna have to put Dax Hill on AJ Brown.
Exactly. He's going to be higher up in the depth chart technically because AJ Brown's higher up. But if we play a team like let's say um why can't the Patriots week 1, who do they have? They have Juju, they have Jalen Polk, and they have um
That guy
that's it.
just talked about.
Devontae Parker.
Yeah,
Um
yeah, yeah. I
um
don't. I'm not sure about the Patriots. They kind of slipped my mind ever since Tom Brady left.
But yeah, it's what I'm saying is it's going to be week to week of where we see these guys ranked in the depth chart. I think on the depth chart, DJ Turner is going to be corner two, just because I also feel like just in terms of locker room stuff, it would kind of I feel like that would kind of upset him if the first year guy wants to play corner, he gets my job, which you shouldn't really think about that, but I think especially for corner and wide receiver, you got to think about that kind of stuff. For those two position group specifically. But yeah, I do think he will take that starting corner 2 spot, but that does not mean Dax Hill won't play.
Yeah, I can see that. The only reason I had Dax Hill in there is I think he's got he learned under Jesse Bates for a year as a safety, and I think he's been in the room in an AFC Championship game. He's got some valuable snaps. So if you think about it, DJ Turner hasn't really played in that many valuable games,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I think
you're at go ahead.
that's where I went with this is, and when I was sitting here thinking about this, I think Dax Hill's played in more impactful games than DJ Turner, and this is our Super Bowl or bust year, as Sheldon Rankins said, as you said. I guess you guys are on the same level now. Sheldon Rankins and Gavin Zimmer are right here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I could take him. Give me in the trenches. I can hold him.
yeah,
Um
so I just think it's important those games.
yeah, it and honestly, in my mind, when you think of a starter, you think about AFC Championship. Who is going to be the corner 2? Who's going to be on the second best wide receiver behind CTB? And in my mind, actually, now that I say that, I want to say Dax Hill, because I trust him more than DJ Turner. But in the regular season, I want to see DJ Turner out there as corner 2.
Yeah, I would like to see him out there as well. I want to see how he's kind of developed, but I also want to see them both out there in the preseason.
Oh yeah,
I think it's perfect time.
I know it's against Zach Taylor to play starters in the preseason, but I want to see everyone but Joe Burrow out there. I want maybe Jamar. I'll let Jamar slide. But I want T regaining confidence over these practice squad players. I want Cam Taylor Britt to regain confidence. I want from coming back from injury. Not that he wasn't good; he was a phenomenal year. But coming back from injury, I want DJ Turner and Dax Hill to get reps at these guys that they feel like they can just building confidence and starting out hot is so important this year that we have to.
Yeah, I would agree. I think T Higgins needs a little bit of football. He's only going to be there for training camp, but he's been primarily just in the weight room.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not really that sure, but I'm not sure how much football type things he's done. I know from just watching Jamar Chase throughout the offseason, he's done a lot of route running, um, with gold feet. I think is what it was called, golden feet.
I think so.
Yeah, and it looks like he's done a lot of football type workouts, but it seems like T Higgins has not. So I want T Higgins out there to get that football. It's kind of like when these guys come out of college; they're really training for the combine to get down on that 40 time and to lift a bunch of weight, but they're not in exactly great football shape. I think T Higgins needs to get back in football shape before he steps out.
And granted, that's just with the cameras on. Obviously, we're not discrediting T Higgins' work ethic. Just to kind of emphasize that. But no, I definitely agree with you that he kind of needs to get those reps in. Only got 600 yards last year.
Yeah, he also had a lot of injuries last season. So
Yeah, I think this team.
You can go. You can go.
Oh, I think this team just caught the injury bug, and I think we need to rebuild that confidence to show that we are the Super Bowl contenders that we've been for the past few years.
Yeah, I think so too. I think T Higgins, when he missed those games, I think that kind of upset him a little bit because he knew what kind of year he was going to go into. And T Higgins has talked about this openly. He said he wants to be on the field and he needs to be on the field to get that kind of respect that he deserves. And
Sure. No, it's all you.
all right, so I think those reps in the preseason are going to be valuable to him. I think it's going to get his body a little bit more acclimated to that football hits. I mean, you can go in training camp all you want, but you don't want to hurt the goal.
Yeah, we don't. I do think that they're going to be less likely to go really full out in training camp this year after the situation last year with Joe. Even though it was non-contact, people are going to kind of be wary about it, and so we'll see. Last one on defense, right? We've got one more on defense, or
Yep.
did we do all the defense?
We got one more, and I think it's going to come as a surprise to a lot of people.
That'll be B.J. Hill versus Sheldon Rankins, coming out as starting D tackle. In most of our sets, we run a 4-3, don't we?
Yes.
4 down linemen, 3 linebackers. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, coming down in a 4-3, we'll have 2 D tackles and we'll have 2 edge rushers. It'll most likely be Trey, Sam Hubbard on the edge, and then the 1 and 2 D tackle aren't as important as you might think. But in certain situations, one guy will be in there the full time, and the other guy will get rotated out, and that's what we're trying to figure out. Because one of these guys is going to be in there almost full time, and then the other guy will get rotated out, whether it's a run package, whether it's a pass package, whether it's a combo of whatever we end up running. That I think it's important to think about what these guys can do individually, along with compared to with a Chris Jenkins, compared to with each other. I think they're exact opposites of each other. Sheldon Rankins loves to get in the backfield and really create pressure, where BJ Hill likes to sit there and stop the run. And I think what we prioritize this year specifically, and this is going to be my answer, is what we couldn't do last year, which is stop the run. We got all the sacks coming off the edge. I think that run stopping in the middle is going to be vital to winning games this year, because teams exposed that last year. And I think if we can stop that, let our guys in the sky do their job, I think that BJ Hill will get the job done and win that D tackle 1.
Yeah, BJ Hill is my pick too. I think Chris Jenkins is going to be my unsung hero on this defensive line, but BJ Hill's in his last year of his contract. He's getting paid $10 million this year, and I think that also plays a big role in it. But also, yeah, we couldn't stop the run last year. That was tough. It was a tough thing for us to try and stop the run. I mean, I don't know how many games we had where just people, I felt like they could just run through us.
Evan Singletary didn't do anything the whole season, and just nightmares about it. Just that whole game in general.
Yeah, it was a nightmare for sure. But yeah, I think that's a pretty consensus thing around the media. But it is an untalked about topic on how good this Chris Jenkins rookie is out of Michigan, and he is going to play a huge role this season, whether it is starting or not.
Yeah, and he's really good. I love Chris Jenkins. I love his personality. That might make me biased, but this dude's a real deal, and I can't wait to see him out on the field in stripes. So let's transition over into offense. We have, off the top of my head, I can think of 3 offensive that we have, right?
Yeah, we have 3.
All right, you can lead it off, man. Pick whichever one you want.
I'm gonna go with the big one. Let's go Yoshi Voss versus Burton. Yoshi Voss is good,
Yeah,
but the way that Burton comes out of his routes is just. I think if you watch his college tape, a good person to go watch is Joe Goodberry. Please watch after you watch this podcast. He talks about how good Jermaine Burton, comes out of his routes. And there's a lot of the times where he's like, Joe Burrow would hit him right here. Joe Burrow would hit him right here. There's a lot of times where he's open on those deep crossers or things like that, just because he knows how to control his speed, and he's really fast at coming out of his breaks.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm trying to think. He was my wide receiver 7. He was my wide receiver 7 in this draft, and we got him in the 3rd round. It went Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, Brian Thomas Jr., Xavier Worthy, I had him above Keon Coleman actually. In terms of that, and obviously he fell due to character issues, but I mean, we've seen him multiple times, talked to him multiple times. Seems like a great dude. Might get heated on the field, but hey, everyone does. But yeah, I would have to agree with you. I think Jermaine Burton's going to take the top off the defense, which is exactly what we want to go back to this year. I think Yoshavash is situational. 2nd and 6, you'll see Yoshavash in there to where we don't need that big play. We just need to pick up the first down. Elite route runner. Good hands. Kind of like a budget Tyler Boyd. In terms of what type of player he is to me. And I think Yoshavash has the higher ceiling for this offense. This offense will be more explosive. As an offense in the NFL, you want to create an identity for yourself. You want to create of what style of offense you like playing. And I think the Bengals are going to want to have the identity of the explosive, take the top off again, because that's what helped us win a few years ago. And with Jermaine Burton being that wide receiver 3, I mean, what do you do? I seriously, it was in my mind when we were thinking of Justin Jefferson to the Bengals. This obviously to a less degree. I'm not saying Jermaine Burton's the next Justin Jefferson, but how do you cover these receivers? If you double team Chase, that leaves Higgins and Burton on an island, and I can guarantee you one of them's winning that 1-on-1. if you spread him out, Jamar Chase, if you have to double team Jamar Chase, but if you do, that leaves T Higgins. If you double team T Higgins too, Jermaine Burton is one of the best contested ball catchers in this draft behind Marvin Harrison Jr. to me. And I think
Yeah, for
I
sure. Do
think
you
it
know how
just
many
creates
drops
a
Jermaine
complete
Burton had last year in
change of narrative
2023?
that Tyler Boyd did to this offense.
He had 0 drops. The guy is one of the most sure-handed receivers in college football,
Did he have
as
zero?
well
I'm
as
pretty sure he had
being
zero.
very sure. And I think
Yeah,
a very sure-handed 50-50 ball receiver. But another thing I want to talk about that kind of goes unnoticed is Jermaine Burton's
absolutely.
ability to find the holes on a unscripted scramble drill. There was plenty times where Jaden Milroe would have to leave the pocket, and then
Oh yeah.
it's almost like he was
Uh,
born to be in that exact spot at that exact moment. And he caught so many passes just being in that one spot. It's pretty good.
by the way, I looked it up. He had 57 targets last year at Alabama. Didn't drop a single one. So yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah, do you want to move on to a kind of less exciting version of but a pretty close battle that I think people assume experience is what's going to win it here. Going into the offensive line room, being Trent Brown and Amarius Mims, I think it's Trent Brown's job. But and I wish him nothing but the best health, nothing but the best mental focus for this year. But going on past years and receipts, what we've seen from Trent Brown is that he will not play the full year. And as much as I want him to, as much as he is a top 10 tackle when he plays the full year, we can only go off the past. And I think that's where Mims steps in and ultimately takes that job,
4
which is
million.
why we only signed him to a 1 year deal. 1 year deal worth, what was it, 7 million, 8 million? Or, yeah, what that crazy. I could have sworn it was a lot more. But yeah, it's the temporary. Let's develop Amarius Mims, and I think they were planning on taking Mims since free agency started. I think that's why we didn't see them go get the Tyrod Taylors of the world. That's why they didn't see him get to go get the Jawan Taylors of the world. These surefire tackles, because I think we were planning on getting Mims the whole time, and I honestly think if if we thought Kansas City was going to trade up and get Mims, we would trade up in front of them. I think that the Bengals had their heart set on Mims the entire time. I don't think anything was going to change that now, looking back into it, the way our free agency played. And I think they got a guy that they see two routes Mims can go. He can go the Orlando Brown Jr. route, be a 4-time Pro Bowler, or he can go the Trent Brown route where the weight's going to be a concern. And they kind of want to find the medium, bringing them both in.
Yeah, I would say that's
best of both
perfect
worlds, and they
because
can have
I've
the
never
little
seen a
baby
guy
and
carry
be our right tackle of
340
the future.
pounds and look like he has a six-pack.
Yeah, yeah. It's this dude is just crazy. Let me see.
Amarius Mims is
we
huge.
can find this
Trent
picture.
Brown, I think this is his job to lose.
While you talk,
They brought him in to be that sure right tackle. You know what you're going to get out of Trent Brown. That guy's a mean dude. That's a mean motherfucker. That is some guy you do not want to mess up with on the field. And I think the first thing I tweeted when we signed him is him and Jamar Chase are going to clear the benches against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. Yeah.
this is the picture I'm talking about. Look how massive this guy is. Can you see it? It's
That guy looks like he plays
absolutely
tight end. He looks like he
ginormous.
plays
And
tight end.
He looks jacked, and he's huge. It's just
But yeah, I think Amarius
I don't
Mims
get
is
it,
our
man.
tackle for the future, just not this year. I think
Yeah.
he's going to play for sure. I think, like you said, with Trent Brown's history, he's not always having the motivation or the health history to play 17 full games. But he will be there for when we need him. And I think Amarius is going to play that perfect. He's still really, really good. It's not like he's not like he's a backup at all. He's just learning.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've heard nothing but positive reports. I think if Amarius Mims was going into year 3 with the skill set, he would be the surefire starter. No matter what, I think it's just the concern that he's
Yeah,
a
I think we
rookie
rushed Billy
and all that
Price and
stuff.
Jonah
And I
Williams
think,
out there, and I
I
think,
think I'm excited.
it didn't
I'm excited for him.
help them, but it also helped them to learn the NFL speed, but I think you can kind of get that in practice with 11 on 11s, going up against guys like Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard. The NFL is a lot faster than college
Yeah.
football, and I think everyone says that. So you need to get adjusted to NFL speed before you can get thrown out there to the wolves against pass rushers that are Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, Zadarius Smith,
Yeah,
he's not on the Ravens anymore, but terrifying. We have the worst
it's
division
a
to be a
bad day
tackle
to be
in.
a tackle
I think
in
by
the
far. Now
AFC
that Aaron
North.
Donald's retired,
And even for the other teams, even for the other three teams
I
with Trey
think
Hendrickson.
it absolutely is. Um, yeah, it's the three of the top five pass rushers are in the same division, which is just crazy. All right. Last but certainly not least, an interesting one that I don't see a lot of people talking about is the Zach Moss Chase Brown starting role, which I don't think it's talked about because I think people assume Zach Moss is going to take that role. When he was a starter last year, he put up the most yards in the time that he was a starter. He led the league in yards for a little bit. He was elite. People question whether they're going to trade Jonathan Taylor because this guy was so good. Keep in mind, the same Jonathan Taylor that had the rushing record a few years ago, #1 overall pick in fantasy 3 years ago. And I don't think it's crazy to assume he will be the starter. I do think he will be the starter, but it's a conversation to be had where the development of Chase Brown has been so great. What we've heard, and he's finding the
Sure,
holes quicker,
sure.
and he
And
can really just
him and Yoshi Ross
explode
went
and
and
really
trained
build
with
that
the same
identity of the
guy,
explosive offense
the
that the
same guy
Bengals
who
want.
worked with guys the likes of Brandon Ayuk. Another thing to help them take a leap in these next years or two, like their rookie year to their second and third year, they had exponential jumps after working with this guy, and I think that's going to help prevail Chase Brown, but I don't think he's quite ready for the running back one spot. I think Zach Moss kind of has that upper hand
Yeah.
on him with the blocking ability that he has. I think that allows him to be on the field for more snaps, and the guy who gets more snaps is the #1 running back in my book.
Yeah, and I think we're going to end it right where we started it, to where this is going to be a by committee group. Especially like the safety group, in my opinion, that these guys are going to both get probably 20 snaps a game, or 20 snaps a game. They're going to get maybe 10, 15 rush attempts per game. It'll probably be Zach Moss maybe getting 15 to 20 and Chase Brown getting 10 to 15. If we really have a complete game, and I think our identity is going to be these inside runs. I really liked a few years ago when we started doing these outside runs with Joe Mixon, but I think our team is built to either play action up the middle, bomb it deep, or really let the inside run do the
Yeah,
work. And
I think so too.
I think that'll pay
It's going
testament
to
to
be a by
Zach Moss
committee.
being a starter.
We talked about that in the last 3 episodes. It feels like this is a by committee team, and I can't emphasize that enough, and I know you can't emphasize that enough.
Yeah.
This is a by committee team. Everyone has a role on this team, and I love it. I love it. Chase Brown's going to give you that explosiveness, but I just think Zach Moss's elite pass blocking ability puts him
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, and I was going to say something actually kind of irrelevant. Oh yeah, some guys that I kind of wanted to talk about but I left off
Matt Lee.
was shit, I can't remember who's our backup center's name. Why I keep blanking on their name. No, because he's the third string right now. I wanted to bring
Got me stumped here.
that
Got me
battle to see
stumped
if
here.
Matt Lee could
I know
win
his name, but I
the
don't remember.
second string job.
Give me a
But
second.
it's
I
kind
will
of
tell you in
irrelevant.
just a second because
Um,
it's on the top of my head. I just can't get it to the brain. Oh my gosh. It starts with, it's not Cody Ford. It is it is not Matt Lee, but it will be Matt Lee as my pick. I don't know. Maybe they already cut a Dante Smith. No, that's an offensive tackle.
yeah.
I think they. Yeah, I think we already literally cut the guy. I think we already told him bye.
Maybe they already cut the guy. I remember last episode I was looking at the depth chart and he
Trey
was
Hill.
number
Trey
3.
Hills, that's his name.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I think he would win
Yes, he's still on the team.
that job, and I was correct. And is he still on the team? Okay. Well, I think he's going to win it over Trey Hill. I think that Matt Lee is the greatest 7th-round pick of all time, and I really do stand by that. I told him that in
Matt
person.
Lee's great.
And I will
watch
continue
it.
to
I
tell that in
watched
person
his,
because I
tape,
truly
and
believe
I
it.
think he is phenomenal. I don't see how when Tad Karras retires that we'll need somebody else. I think Matt Lee's going to step right up and be great.
He's phenomenal at getting his feet planted and really setting up that pass protection. The only thing the only thing he's not great at is like screens and outside
Yeah, that's
runs.
not a
But what I
huge deal
just
for
talked
us.
about, I think we're gonna do a lot of inside runs. So I don't think that'll necessarily be a big factor. And then the last positional battle that I don't think will be much of a battle, but it could have a debate, is Myles Murphy versus Sam Hubbard. As of right now, it's very clearly Sam Hubbard, but it's kind of the path of where Sam Hubbard's going here, Myles
Yeah, I
Murphy's
think
going here. One
Sam
guy's going
Hubbard,
down,
no
one guy's going
disrespect, I
up, and
love
it's
Sam
just a matter
Hubbard.
of
He's one
time
of my
before they end up
favorites,
switching
but
places.
he's kind of on his downhill climb in football age. And at some point, the truck's going to break down and the young Ferrari's going to have to come out the garage. So I think that's going to be sometime during the season. Sam Hubbard's kind of had a history of having these ankle-ish injuries throughout the course of his career, and he's kind of had to play through them. And I think the depth that we have that's gonna be no more. If he's not feeling 100%, he does not have to play because we have the people to back him up.
Yeah, especially with Joseph Osai on those run packages as well. It can be either of them. That's it for me. I want you guys to comment, leave the Google form is now in the link tree. I don't know how many people tried clicking on that. It is there. You can leave your thoughts, comments, whatever you want.
One more position battle I got
Anywhere
for
you
you guys,
need.
and I think it's going to be a clear cut
Anything
victory.
else from you,
Brad
man?
Robbins versus Austin McNamara. I think Austin McNamara takes it away.
Right. Yeah, Brad Robbins. Love Brad Robbins. Love his mustache. Love what he does. Unfortunately, couldn't get it done as much as we needed him last year, and we were punting a lot. Maybe fatigue on his foot.
Think so?
But I think they'd rather take a chance and run.
Well,
back
that's it for
Brad
us,
Robbins.
guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't be afraid to check the socials. Like we said, there's something huge coming that you guys are going to want to check the socials for. Who dey?
Absolutely. All right, everybody. We'll see you next episode. Who dey?